On August 6, 2025, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs made a historic move, terminating most of its collective bargaining agreements with federal employee unions. This decision sent shockwaves through the federal workforce and the broader labor community, as the VA is not only one of the largest government agencies, but also a critical provider of healthcare and benefits to millions of veterans across the country. This abrupt action, enabled by a recent executive order, dismantled decades of labor management practices at the VA overnight. The executive order, signed just days before, gave the VA unprecedented authority to bypass traditional negotiation processes, allowing leadership to act unilaterally and with remarkable speed. For years, union contracts shaped everything from workplace safety to employee grievances, providing a system of checks and balances. These agreements were the result of long negotiations, ensuring that employees had a voice in decisions affecting their daily work and patient care. Their sudden cancellation erased that structure, leaving employees without the negotiated protections they'd relied on. Many staff members found themselves uncertain about their rights, unsure how to address workplace issues, and worried about the future of their jobs and the quality of care they could provide. The VA's leadership framed this as a decisive break from the past, aiming to streamline operations and improve efficiency for veterans. Officials argued that removing bureaucratic barriers would allow the agency to respond more quickly to the needs of veterans and adapt to changing circumstances. The timing, just after a key court ruling, allowed the VA to act swiftly and preempt further legal challenges. Legal experts noted that the court's decision cleared the way for the agency to implement sweeping changes without the usual delays or obstacles. Implementation was immediate, affecting hospitals, clinics, and benefits offices nationwide. From large urban medical centers to small rural clinics, every corner of the VA system felt the impact almost overnight. For VA employees, this marked a profound and immediate change to their working conditions, one with lasting repercussions. Many wondered how their roles would evolve, and what new expectations or challenges they might face in the days and months ahead. The stage was set for a new, uncertain era at the nation's largest healthcare system. As the dust settled, both employees and veterans braced for the consequences of this unprecedented decision, knowing that the future of the VA and the people it serves was now more uncertain than ever. The impact of these contract terminations is truly massive, reaching into every corner of the Department of Veterans Affairs and affecting the daily lives of thousands of dedicated employees. Overnight, more than 377,000 of the VA's 483,000 employees lost their union protections, leaving a significant portion of the workforce suddenly without the safeguards they had relied on for years. This sweeping change includes a wide range of essential personnel: nurses caring for patients, therapists supporting veterans' mental health, claims processors handling vital paperwork, food service workers ensuring meals are served, janitors keeping facilities clean, and administrative staff managing operations. These are the people who keep the VA running every single day. 5 major unions, including the influential American Federation of Government Employees, saw their master agreements nullified in an instant, erasing years of negotiated workplace protections and benefits. However, not all employees were affected equally. About 4,000 individuals working in law enforcement and protective services, such as VA police officers and security staff, managed to retain their union protections, at least for now. In addition, 8 smaller unions were also spared from these sweeping changes, reportedly because they were not involved in the recent legal challenges that led to the terminations. For the vast majority of VA employees, the loss of union contracts means there is no longer a formal negotiated framework to protect their workplace rights or to resolve disputes fairly and transparently. This sudden change introduces a new level of uncertainty about pay, benefits, job security, and the processes for handling workplace disagreements. Many employees are left wondering how future conflicts or concerns will be addressed. The effects of this decision ripple across every state, touching every VA facility and impacting every aspect of care provided to America's veterans, from large urban hospitals to small rural clinics. The magnitude of this shift cannot be overstated. It marks a turning point for the VA workforce and the veterans they serve. The Department of Veterans Affairs justified its decision as a sweeping reform, aiming to improve the quality and efficiency of service for veterans across the country. According to the VA, the changes were designed to ensure that every possible resource, whether time, space, or funding, would be directed toward the needs of veterans rather than administrative or union-related activities. Secretary Doug Collins publicly argued that existing union contracts had become obstacles to progress and accountability within the VA. He emphasized that the reforms were intended to be pro-veteran, not anti-union, and insisted that the ultimate goal was to put veterans first in every decision the department makes. The department claimed that union activities were consuming significant resources that could otherwise be used for patient care. Specifically, the VA cited a staggering 750,000 hours of taxpayer-funded union time logged in 2024 alone, suggesting that this time could be better spent serving veterans directly. In addition, the VA highlighted the use of 187,000 square feet of office space by unions, arguing that these facilities could be repurposed for clinical needs, such as exam rooms, counseling offices, or expanded patient services. The message from the department was clear. Every available resource, whether physical space or staff time, should be dedicated to serving veterans, not union business or bureaucracy. Notably, in its public explanation, the VA focused on the potential for greater efficiency and operational improvements, rather than citing national security or political motivations. The emphasis was on practical benefits for veterans. The department positioned itself as a champion of reform, presenting the changes as a bold effort to cut through bureaucratic red tape and streamline operations for the sake of those who have served. Ultimately, the move was presented as a necessary step to build a more responsive, effective, and veteran-centered organization, one that can adapt to changing needs and deliver better outcomes for those it serves. Unions condemned the VA's move as retaliation for their opposition to administration policies. Leaders like Everett Kelly called it an attempt to silence dissent and punish unions for challenging controversial proposals. Unions had fought against closing rural VA hospitals, cutting tens of thousands of jobs, and privatizing veteran health care. They argue their advocacy protected both employees and veterans, and that the contract terminations are meant to remove this obstacle. National Nurses United called the decision an attack on those serving veterans, vowing continued legal and political resistance. Unions insist they are essential advocates for patient safety and employee rights, not impediments to good governance. They warn that weakening unions ultimately weakens the VA and the care it provides. The VA's authority came from a March 2025 executive order, invoking national security to suspend collective bargaining. This unprecedented use of the Civil Service Reform Act's National Security Clause sparked immediate legal challenges from unions. Early court victories for unions temporarily blocked the order, but a key appellate court ruling in August lifted those injunctions. That decision gave the VA the green light to terminate contracts just days later. The VA acted quickly, despite guidance from the Office of Personnel Management to wait until all litigation was resolved. The move signaled an aggressive push to implement policy changes, regardless of ongoing legal disputes. The legal and political battles are far from over. For over 377,000 VA employees, the loss of union contracts means a transformed workplace. The most immediate impact: no more formal grievance process or union representation in disputes. Employees now face management decisions on pay, schedules, and working conditions with little recourse. Collective bargaining had provided stability and predictability. Its removal brings uncertainty and anxiety. Union representatives, once allowed official time to address workplace issues, will see their roles sharply reduced or eliminated. The long-standing system of labor management communication is gone, replaced by unilateral management authority. The cultural shift is profound. Employees lose a collective voice and may feel more vulnerable and hesitant to speak up. Morale could decline, and the sense of empowerment among frontline workers may erode. The VA's internal culture faces a fundamental transformation. The big question: how will this affect the 9 million veterans relying on the VA? Supporters say managers will be more agile, able to reassign staff and address performance issues quickly, improving care. The VA claims this will enhance accountability and ensure high standards for all employees. Critics warn that without union-negotiated safeguards, patient safety could suffer, especially if staffing ratios are ignored to cut costs. A demoralized workforce may lead to higher turnover and less continuity of care for veterans. Experienced nurses and clinicians could leave, disrupting relationships and institutional knowledge. The risk and unhappy workforce may not deliver the best care to veterans. The true impact will be seen in the months and years ahead. At the heart of this conflict are two competing visions for the VA's future. The administration sees unions as obstacles, believing that removing them will create a more efficient, businesslike, and veteran-focused agency. This vision prioritizes managerial flexibility, rapid adaptation, and top-down decision-making. The opposing view, championed by unions, values collaboration and frontline advocacy, arguing that employee input is vital for quality care. Unions see themselves as partners in ensuring patient safety and protecting workers' rights. They argue that collective bargaining creates a stable, professional workforce and a voice for those delivering care. The fear unchecked management could lead to arbitrary decisions and unsafe conditions, ultimately harming veterans. The debate is about whether the VA should be run by empowered managers or in partnership with its workforce. The coming months will be defined by legal and political battles over the VA's decision. Unions are expected to pursue further lawsuits and public campaigns, seeking to restore collective bargaining rights. Congress may be pressured to intervene, making upcoming sessions a battleground for the future of VA labor relations. Inside the VA, managers will implement new rules and employees will adjust to the new reality. Key metrics, employee turnover, patient safety, and veteran satisfaction will reveal the real-world impact. The long-term consequences will unfold over years, not weeks. The central question, will a VA without strong unions be more effective, or will it become unstable and less able to serve veterans? All eyes are on the VA as this pivotal experiment in public administration plays out.